Hi everybody. First of all, welcome back, and secondly, welcome to the Advanced Decision Making module for Trimester 1 this year. With this module, what I've tried to do is try and make it as easy for you all if we do get a second wave of COVID. So what we're going to do is deliver this completely online using both asynchronous and synchronous techniques. And in this introductory video, we're going to go through the timetable, what we're going to learn, some of the structure of the module, and also we're going to take a look at the assessment. This advanced decision-making module is completely theoretical, and what you're going to be able to do at the end of this is understand how our brain works in terms of making decisions in clinical practice. You're also going to learn some of the pitfalls and the ways to avoid these, as well as some things about human factors and also some things about ethical decision-making and decision-making with families, i.e. shared decision-making. The organisation of this module is built up of synchronous and asynchronous sessions, and let's have a look and make sure that we all understand what that means. The asynchronous aspect of this is that theory will be delivered every alternate Thursday, and what that means is that content will be released including group work or activities to complete during that week, but because I understand that a lot of you are in clinical practice and there may well be a second wave of COVID, I wanted you to be able to complete this in your own time, and it's not necessary that for these asynchronous sessions that you have the day off. So these will be released on the timetable and released on that day on a Thursday. I'd like you to complete them within the week. You don't have to feel pressure to complete them on the day, and you could even complete them at the weekend or around your family or professional commitments. But also, on top of this, there's going to be some group work, discussions or reflections to complete on discussion boards or perhaps even tweet chats. The synchronous sessions, firstly, you'll notice that there's open office sessions, and what this is for a chance for us to meet up and discuss any theory or discuss any problems that you may be having with the summative assessment, or it's just a chance for us to catch up for a coffee and talk about clinical practice and decision making as well. These are not necessary that you do attend, but if you can attend, it allows you to hopefully get some study leave from work where we can go through things as necessary. These will be conducted on MS Teams, Microsoft Teams, and we'll have a bit of a chat about that later and how you need to configure that and where to download it. Finally, there are a couple of synchronous lectures that you'll notice, one by Caroline and one by Becky Daly. These will be conducted either on Teams or the big blue button conference function in Canvas, but I'll give you some details about those prior to the lectures, but it would be a good idea to try and book these off if you can from work. If it's a problem, we'll record the lectures and we can cover the theory a little bit later if it's not very clear. Now this is probably the bit that you're really interested in, the assignment. And because you all love them so much, and I love them so much, the assessment for this module is an assignment. And for your assignment, what I'd like you to do is a 5,000 word assignment, critically analysing a decision you've made in practice. Now this just needs to be one decision, and it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. It doesn't have to be a decision of a whole plan of care. It can be something relatively simple. And what I've noticed in the past is that simpler the decisions, the better. You'd be actually surprised how many words you could write about simply prescribing someone antibiotics or stopping antibiotics or requesting a chest x-ray for somebody. The type of decisions that we've had in the past have been about prescribing a medication or deprescribing a medication. And as we run through the theory of the module, you'll pick up something from each session that you can put into your assignment. You could also do it, and we've had in the past, about discussions around mental health and capacity assessment, but also about using restraint in mental health patients as well. We've also had them about decisions to treat or refer a patient onto another speciality. And finally, we had them about decisions about withholding treatment from somebody or stopping treatment altogether. So the decisions don't have to be massive. You can really do them on anything. You could essentially do it on inserting a urinary catheter on somebody in retention. And finally, the submission date for the assignment, the 12th of January 2021. It has to include all the usual things: justify your text, use a sensible font, a word count as well as needed on the cover sheet, but also just be aware that figures and tables are not included in the word count, as well as the references in the reference list and any appendices as well. So what does your assignment need to contain? Let's take a look at the assessment criteria. The first obvious thing is that we need your assignment to contain the rationale behind your decision and relating the decision-making process to the theories and models that we're going to talk about during this module. Second thing is that we need to have a look at the evidence base of the decision. And we need you to critically analyse your decision in terms of, does it follow best evidence and best guidance, i.e. evidence-based practice. The next thing is that we need you to have a look at any organisational professional influences that affected your decision. These can be in terms of human factors, but they can also be in terms of your own professional registration as well. The next thing is that we'd like you to critically evaluate any legal or ethical issues. We've put "or" in this because not every decision will have a big legal or big ethical aspect to it, and it allows you to choose which is the bigger aspect and explore that. Finally, we'd like you to evaluate any outcomes with the decision. Was your decision a good one? Or would you change anything? And did it follow the guidance and evidence practice? And obviously, we'd like you to use current evidence and references as well alongside this. As you probably gathered, academic supervision is really important, and that's no different in this module. Academic supervision groups are available on Canvas, and what I've done is I've split everybody 50-50 between me and Caroline. As a maximum, what you should expect from supervision within this module is, first of all, a review of the decision and support provided to creating a plan. It's really important that you at least run the decision past your academic supervisor, because what we need to have a think about, both you and I, is that your decision is going to contain enough and hit all of the assessment criteria and which bits of the theory we're going to put in. So it's really important that you just at least talk to your academic supervisor about your decision, or talk about it in the open office sessions as well. The second thing that we can do is review a plan and provide some feedback on that as well. And we can provide feedback in up to 2,000 words. The reason that we don't like to read full assignments is that it's very difficult to draw the line between academic supervision and marking as well. And essentially what we do is we end up pre-marking before actually marking, and it's not great academic practice. So we'll review up to 2,000 words. But on top of that, what we can do is provide subsequent tutorial access as well. And we're available through Microsoft Teams or Skype to do these tutorials with you. And the deadline for academic supervision is the 4th of January 2021, which gives both me and Caroline time to get feedback back to you or arrange a tutorial within that time as well. As always, if you could please request your tutorials through email, it's much easier for us to keep track of rather than using the messaging function in Canvas. So sometimes we don't get the notifications and we could miss you out. So before we meet for the first time, there's 3 things that I'd like you to do. And the first one is to download and access Microsoft Teams. In the modules section below this video, you'll find guidance on how to do that with a link to the University SharePoint site. The next thing that I'd like you to do is to request access, if you haven't already got it, to the Microsoft Teams page. Another link's available in the modules section for you to do this. Any problems, send me an email and I can give you access manually. The third one is to head to the discussion board and contribute to the reflection and discussion board there, as we'll use this to discuss decision making later in the module and during the open office sections as well. And it's a good way to reflect on what you may use for your assignment. It's really great to have you all back. I hope you're excited for the module. I'm really excited to deliver it online, and I hope if anything does hit a second wave that it's going to enable you all to complete it and start to move on with your studies. If you've got any questions or anything's not clear, please drop us an email, zach.north@hull.ac.uk, and I'll answer it as soon as I can.